Welcome to the Olympian Table.
Good morning, everyone.
Man, I am James Lee, one of your co-hosts. Stephen is away this week, but I am joined by my illustrious guest, brother Aaron Thomas.
Hello.
Trophy
How's
room
every
title, right?
trophy room title?
Trophy room
You
title.
guys seen me on here before, but I recently made a switch. Decided to start my own thing, so it's brand new. In the last month, we're getting it going, getting it popping. So it's good to see everyone. I can't see you, but you can see me, and it's good to be here with you, James.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you always coming through. When I need someone to kind of stand in, it's just like, hey, But let me just say this publicly so everybody knows. The podcast is on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock every time. It doesn't move, doesn't change. Because my brother Aaron always seems to say, when is it? What day is it? I'm like, bro, that lets me know who's not watching the podcast.
He forgot that I got three little kids. I got two dogs now because my wife went and bought another one. She forgot. It's not an excuse, but he forgot. His kids are all grown, so I have one kid in kindergarten, and everyone else is not even in kindergarten yet. So cut me some slack, brother. Cut me some slack.
Okay, I'll cut you some slack. I'll cut you a little bit of slack.
Meanwhile, I'm starting a company as well. So
now that is a better excuse. Right? That would be a better excuse. So I'm with it. I'm with that. So it's all good. It's good. I do appreciate you joining us. Of course, the information for Aaron, we'll try to make sure that is going to be available for you all. If you need title information or you need title representation, blah, blah, blah. Real quick, just tell us, what is title insurance? Just for those that are just maybe not tuned in and saw you before, just tell them real quick, give a brief industry.
So yeah, title insurance is basically when you buy a home or So got it. So yeah, when you buy the home, you want to make sure the home is yours, right? So you want to make sure you have full ownership. So the easiest way to describe that is basically, as a title company, we search the county records. We search everything from the beginning of time, or we think the beginning of time, to when you purchase a home. Or that's for the owner's policy, lender's policies, protection for the lender. But we want to make sure that you own the home and there's no one else has other interest in the home. So some people don't understand how that works, and there's also some real estate professionals that don't understand, and they even advise people not to get it. And I would not advise your people not to have title insurance,
Right.
because if some type of claim arises or someone states that they have some ownership in the property from way back when, that's when your title company comes into play. We fight for that for you. And so, I mean, just like you want to own a car, you have a title to the car, but same thing. It's similar things, except your home is probably worth more than your car.
Right, absolutely.
So that's one of the things, and I mean, no one ever knows what I do. I have friends that don't know what I do. I have realtors I deal with that still don't know what I do. But yeah, it's basically what I'm not saying you need it, but I highly suggest it, not only for my benefit but also yours. So,
Right. Well, cool. Well, we appreciate you dropping that little nugget on us, man. Title insurance is, especially in Texas, which is one of the states where it's regulated.
very regulated.
So we always recommend. As a matter of fact, I don't think you can get a mortgage without title insurance here. So you got to make sure you have something so we can have that protection.
So yeah, the lender's title policy is usually what all lenders require. The majority of lenders are going to require that because they're putting a loan on the property, so they want to make sure that their interest is protected as well.
Right.
So that's where the lender's policy insurance come in. Trophy room title, we do titles heavily regulated, fees are regulated, but we do cut out all the extra fees for you, so we can save you $700 to $1,000.
Oh, come on now!
And we come with some convenience. We'll close you wherever you want to close, whatever time you want to close, whenever you're ready. So unless you're in some foreign country, I can't help you then. But we try to make it convenient for you and save you some money. So I don't know about y'all. I like to save money, but I know there's people out there that don't. But personally, I like saving money. I'm not going to pay full price for fabulous like they say on the TJ Maxx commercials. So yeah, let me know. Let me know if you guys have any questions or need help. I'll be here for you guys.
Absolutely. We appreciate that, man. We appreciate that. So, just real quick, this has kind of been a week of different things going on. Of course, just jumping to a few topics we don't have a ton on the list, but some of the things that I think have been going on here in the past few weeks. Not to keep beating a dead horse with it, of course, we talk about this gun control, and I know that yesterday I think Matthew McConaughey went up to the White House and was giving a speech about gun control, and really he hit on a lot of the things that really truly I feel like are the main issues: mental health and the school safety, that kind of deal. And I have even discussed this with my wife. Um, just my thoughts on some things that we could do, because everyone says the thing that you always hear: we got to do something.
Yeah.
Something's got to be done. Enough is enough. You hear all of that stuff, and it's like, okay, we all agree, right? But what do we do?
Yeah, it's coming up with a plan. Like I discussed with my wife, like she states we have to do something, but also we have to come up with a plan to get there. So that's where the issue lies, right? Like people, you got one side that's like, people kill people, guns don't kill people, but also you have another side where it's like, if we take the guns, it's lessening the ability to have access to. And personally, assault style weapons, I think they're cool if you're playing video games. But personally,
Right.
I think there's should be some type of controlled area where you can go if you're really into that controlled area where you can go and shoot those weapons and not have them personally. And if you walk into a supermarket with the AR-15, I'm sorry, a Glock can't. You're at a disadvantage if you're a police officer with the Glock, or and that's just one of those things where I see it personally. But there has to be something done, man.
Now let me ask you this: in that example that you brought up, right? You're saying you're at a disadvantage having a Glock. Let's say I've got a Glock 19, right, which is a 9mm weapon, and you have an AR-15 style weapon that you have, and they're shooting 5.56 ammo. What disadvantage am I at specifically in that example, going against someone that has that?
So I assume I'm not the biggest gun guy,
Sure,
but
sure.
I've played Call of Duty in my lifetime. So
And you slept at a Holiday Inn last night,
yeah,
right?
so it's the assault style weapons are, I guess, more ergonomically, I don't know, created or designed to shoot, I guess multiple rounds quicker, because you don't want to be in war. And they're also, I guess the bullets are the gun, the ammo is bigger. And they even discussed that with Matthew McConaughey, they said, which is really sad because I have young kids, and that one hit home when the whole the elementary school shooting happened. But they were saying a lot of the kids, you couldn't even tell who they are. Some of them had to be identified by their shoes. So I just think that like I said, I think that you're at a disadvantage when you're facing someone with a Glock versus an AR-15. It's like it's an assault style weapon. So do you see anyone on the battlefields with Glocks?
No, but I will say that an AR-15, just technically speaking, because I am into guns.
Yeah.
It operates very similarly to a Glock.
To a Glock, okay.
Ergonomically, I would stretch to say, because it's a longer weapon, maybe you're able to control it a little bit better. But the way the trigger and the mechanism works is exactly the same.
Similar.
It's a semi-automatic weapon, which basically only
Not fully
means
automatic.
that once you pull the trigger and let it go, it automatically pushes up the next round. So when you pull it again, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing.
So I would say, in terms of an advantage, it all depends on how good you are with that thing.
This is true. So I have a question for you.
Sure.
Are you going to the battlefield with a Glock or AR-15?
Neither. But because they're semi-automatic weapons, I want an
Fully
M16.
automatic. Yeah. Fully
Give
automatic.
me an M16. So
Yeah.
when I pull that trigger, it's brrrr,
Yeah,
they're all
yeah,
going to come
yeah.
out,
Yeah.
and I can go there.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the misconception, because it looks scary.
It does look
Everyone
scary.
calls it's a weapon of war. It's meant to kill. All guns are meant to kill.
They are meant to kill.
That's what they're created for, right? But we exacerbate this fear amongst each other, mainly because of miseducation. But people get out and they talk about the guns, and they really don't know how they work, how they go, how the guns are built, what the ammo itself. The casing is bigger.
Yeah.
But out the projectile,
Still, same.
it's really not.
So
yeah, it looks big. It's like, oh my goodness, that's a big.
Yeah.
No, that's the casing in it, right?
So basically, James said, I don't know anything about guns. So hey, which is fair.
But a lot of people feel like the AR-15 is a great home defense weapon because, I mean, it is, to your point, it doesn't have a ton of kickback depending on what you're shooting. And you can aim it, and you have multiple rounds in there that if somebody's trying to come up in that bad boy, bop, 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 you got it.
So
go ahead.
AR-15 in home or a sawed-off shotgun at home? You can't really miss with the sawed-off shotgun.
Well, it depends on what you're shooting, right? Buckshot, slugs.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
So depending on what you're shooting, I feel that I would tear my house up more with a shotgun. Now, of course,
I'm not worried about that.
But here's the deal: you honestly are less controlled with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Because I mean that thing
kicks back.
Kapow!
Yeah.
I mean it's a for real weapon.
I can see
like
that.
for real. You know what I'm saying? So it's more controlled. A lot of the guys that go hunting, they have to carry the AR-15s because these hogs get out there. They're wild hogs, and it's so
easy.
A regular handgun, you can get them, but with that AR, blah, 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 you can shoot that thing.
My point exactly.
You pull it. You can point it at them and take them down because you can put multiples in them a little bit quicker with
there you
how
go.
it is.
So that's the argument right there.
But it operates the same way though, because I can do if I'm good at a gun, I can do the same thing with my gun.
Yeah.
But again, what happens in the schools? I mean, you won't find a bigger proponent for more school safety. But I just feel like writing another gun law is not the answer to it.
So, yeah, I mean, I get it. So what do you think about, I mean, I'm sure this was covered, but I mean, we obviously weren't here. We're going to talk about it, get our point of view. The whole police debacle with them sitting outside. And I don't know the whole truth about but apparently I read a story where, and I don't know if this is fake news, some lady jumped the fence to go get her kid because she wasn't waiting out there for, I get it, and I saw the timeline. I don't know how accurate the timeline is, but what do you think about that?
Well, and I hate to make opinion without all the facts, but with what's been brought to us so far, it was a misfire completely.
Yeah.
Uvalde is not a really large community.
It's not.
So I can't say they've got 200 police officers on the force like a Houston. We've got thousands here. And just HPD, you know what I'm saying? But a town that small, I think they missed the mark with being able to get there and following protocol to go in under that situation, which I think is why the border security got involved on it, right?
Yeah.
Because they are so much more equipped, to deal with those types of things. But I think the biggest fail for me, which we haven't asked, supposedly a teacher propped a door open, and when she heard the gunshots, she went, kind of closed it. But did the door latch? Because he didn't come through the front. Apparently, he came through some side door. That's what I've read that a couple of times. I'm like, why aren't they questioning what happened, or why was that door propped open?
So did they check the school security systems in regards to, like, I mean, I know my son's, well, he's not in kindergarten anymore. He's going to first grade, but it's like a fort. You can't get into their school.
Get in.
Yeah, you can't.
And that's most of the schools.
But I mean, that's Uvalde. I'm sure the school was built in whatever 60s.
Right.
We live in Katy, so my son's school was built 2 years ago, and he's going to another school next year because it's already overcrowded. But the thing is built like a fort, so you got to put your ID to the little scanner, and then they ask you, your life story before they let you in. So that's possibly. I mean, I get it. They probably were locked or some type of mechanism, but I feel like General State, I don't know if this is true or not. Those smaller communities, they're more. I'm sure they're more laxed on security because it's like a more hometown feel. People know everyone. And I'm from San Antonio, so Uvalde is outside of San Antonio, and I've been there. I drove through there, and I know from a standpoint of San Antonio, like everyone knows everyone in San Antonio. I can't go back home without seeing someone at HEB.
Right.
So I know Uvalde is very similar. Probably it's just on a smaller scale. So you think someone like that's not worried about something like that happening in a city.
And he wasn't from there. He drove from somewhere else, as I understand.
Somewhere outside of the. I mean, it was fairly close, I guess. But,
right.
But yeah, so that's back to the police. Do you think? So this is where this is my opinion on this like situation. So, you know, I'm gonna a lot of police people, not all of them, but I'm a lot of police get into police because they want to be the tough guys. You want to be the tough guys. You want to protect the world. So do you think that they heard that? And this is what I personally think happened. They heard what was going on and they froze. Like I think
that's exactly what happened.
Scared. They got scared.
That's
and
exactly
like,
what
so
happened.
I mean, and I get it. You're human. Like you've never been in a situation like that. It sounds cool to talk about when you're a police guy. You protect the people. But like actually putting yourself in a situation, like me personally, I mean, I'm gonna be 100% honest. If my kid wasn't in there, and if my kid was in there, I'm going in there. But
for sure.
If it's not my kid, I'm probably gonna be like, whoa, I'm gonna pump the brakes a little bit. But as a cop, that's what you're trained to do.
You're supposed to do that.
Yeah, I'm like, they probably got shook. They showed up. They were like, whoa, I hear all these gunshots.
Right.
Everyone got shook, which is like, I mean, and I feel salty about that because I'm like, that's your job. As like you signed up. This is what you signed up for. And I'm not all of them. I obviously, I don't think the whole police force. I don't know what the whole story is, but probably a bigger percentage of them were scared. And I think that's.
I agree with you.
Yeah, so
I agree with you.
And I get it. Like you've never been in a situation like that. So, but I mean, at the same time, like this is what you signed up for. So.
I think you hit the nail on the head with that part. I mean, I know some cold-blooded killers. Like personally, I know them that they look like regular folks. They would have no problem going into a situation like that and doing what they have to do because that's what they were trained to do, right?
Yeah.
But there's some folks that wear that badge and they boast about it, and they're really not cut from that cloth.
Yeah.
They're not really made up for that. They'll wear the shield and whatever they need to do, but it's more just trying to be in control and having that part of authority. But when the rubber meets the road, to your point, if it's my family, I'm going. I tell my wife all the time, and I've shared with my mom. I said, "Babe, you know me as your husband. I know we've been together for a long time, but I'm your husband, and that's what you're gonna get from me."
Yeah.
I said, but out in the streets, if I gotta somebody's doing something with you, or I gotta take care of, trust and believe that it'll be me first before it's you.
Yeah.
If I have anything to do with it.
Exactly.
And then but when you have, to your point, there's no skin in the game. It's like,
Yeah. I mean, I would like to say, hey, if I heard some, I mean, I would have been outside getting mad at the cops. I'd have been like, yo, what are y'all doing? But like I said, I'm gonna be 100% honest here. I probably, if my kids aren't, if I'm a cop, like I know what I signed up for.
Of course.
Like I'm probably going in there to like that's my job. But as a bystander, like I want to save the day, but like also like. Unless like you said, skin in the game. If my kids are in there, I'm going in there.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Yeah, I was like,
you're not keeping me out.
Yeah, it's not even a thought.
I'll deal with the arrest later.
Yeah,
I'm in there.
Yeah, so, but it's just, I don't know. It's an unfortunate situation. But so, what do you think is the solution to all of this?
Oh,
so
thought you never asked.
Because this is where I've read a few articles about. Gun control in different countries and mass shootings versus like it just listed mass shootings in general all over the world. So and we're the majority are down here like versus mass shootings per year, mass shootings total, and we're far ahead of everyone. So what's your solution?
Well, I'm certain you've flown on an airplane before.
Yes.
You've heard of an air marshal.
Yes.
Okay. If folks have not heard of an air marshal, these are people that fly on planes along with the regular common folk who are.
And they look like regular.
They look like regular common folks, and they're heavily armed to protect and defend if something were to jump off on that plane.
Yeah.
We don't know who they are. The flight attendants know who they are, and the customer service and the pilot and FO knows who they are. But we as consumers, we have no clue
Yeah.
who they are. I think that same concept could exist in the school system. We have money put aside for all these other different programs.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we have someone that is 100% dedicated to, or a couple of people, if you say, to a campus,
Yeah.
to where, man, they can look like the janitor, they
Yeah.
can look like a teacher.
Yeah.
If you don't want to arm the teachers, but they could be 100% trained and equipped to not only defend, but to be able to communicate with forces on the outside
Yeah.
and say, hey, this is what's going on. This is where we are. So if something jumps off, somebody's there.
Yeah.
Now, there's a school in Indiana that is equipped with hot zones, that they call them. They're equipped with buttons and alarms in every single classroom, so that if you're a teacher on one side of the school and I'm the teacher on the other side of the school, I can hit a button.
Everyone
and
knows.
Everybody knows. The police knows. Everybody.
Yeah.
That system already exists. Duplicated.
They probably have one at my son's school I don't even know about.
Duplicated. I think it's one of those things. We live in a society now where we're so much more concerned about sports and the football teams and basketball teams, that kind of deal. And we got this money. We're building these multi-million-dollar football stadiums. Texas is guilty. I won't say.
Oh yeah,
we got these. Some of these stadiums are ridiculous. The one in Freedom Field. I mean, that's a $20-30 million stadium.
Where's that one at?
Iowa Colony.
Oh, okay, yeah. I saw one off of 99. I think it was Tomball.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, look, I didn't even know what they were building.
Sheldon has a brand new stadium. They're one school town.
So funny you say that. Like, there's a school around the corner, KDISD. They have it's a new school. I went there, took my son to basketball camp, dropped him off. I'm like looking across the parking. Well, first of all, they got like 6 gyms in there, and I'm looking across the parking lot and it says natatorium. I'm like, these guys have swimming pools?
Yeah.
And then so they were like, yeah, they're trying to put one on every camp. I'm like, you putting a swimming pool on every
There's one in my kid's school.
I'm like, the school I went to, I mean, it was, when I went there, it was a brand new school. We didn't even, I mean, the demographic wasn't there.
Right.
But we didn't have
no swim
team. Yeah, we have a swim team. We didn't have the demographic wasn't there, obviously. But if you're putting stuff like that in schools, you can set up
because it won't cost that much to have someone dedicated to do. That's just what they do.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They're on the campuses. Well, if we can earmark $40 billion to go overseas to help a war that we're not involved in,
exactly, that's another thing.
We can take some money and put it into these schools and make them.
So
more
I
safe.
think I've actually thought about something like that. I think it's a great idea. But what do you think about schools? What do you think about having someone like that just on the streets in general? Like, having someone dedicated to, and that would be a whole government thing, right? Having someone dedicated to a certain area of a certain city. That looks like a regular person just walking around the streets.
They're called police officers. They're supposed to do that.
That's true.
They are supposed to do they're peace officers 24/7.
Yeah.
Uniform or not, they take that oath to be a peace officer. That exists, but to your point, to give it a structure or some kind of protocol or how it's followed, it could happen.
Yeah, I mean, because you think that. I mean, I guess it is. You're right. They're called police officers, but I mean. Well, first,
we want to defund the police, though.
We want to find
that's what where you're yelling and screaming, defund the police. Bro. I mean, come on, man. We can't do that. We gotta have something.
So we need to find a way to find out who the people that are. You put the right people in the right place. It would help a lot because the police officers that are scared. You don't want them out there. Like you don't want these people running away from the action. Like I said, I think that's what happened. But you need someone who's gonna in these situations find someone. Somehow figure out a way that this person is. I mean, you don't want them borderline crazy because they also have a gun and they're in school. But also, you need someone that's going to step up during these times to do and that's what the police didn't do in this situation. So, it's just crazy.
It is.
It's crazy, and it's and why do you think that compared to every other country we have so many mass shootings or?
Well, first you have to look at how they define mass shootings.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they call anything, They
called the one last week mass shooting with.
So you got three or more people they're calling a mass shooting, which it sounds crazy because now it seems like every
That was a mass.
Every
The elementary
news-
was a mass shooting.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a mass shooting.
So it seems like every news alert
Buffalo,
I get
New
now
York,
is
that's
about
a-
that.
that's
That
a
is
mass
a mass shooting for sure. And not discarding the other the importance of the other lives that are lost if they're in smaller numbers, but we have more because we have more guns.
We do have more guns.
That's really what it boils down to.
But is there some type of mental aspect within our country that I mean, like, so you think everyone knows America is the land of the free, right? So does that give us the right to? Does it empower us? Oh, not us, like me and you. I think I know you well enough that you probably wouldn't run up in the school and start shooting everyone.
No.
But like, does that give certain people the right to feel like they can do certain things, or like, is it some type of mental thing that we are the land of the free? Like, we can, and like you said, there's not people that do like the people that Republican versus Democrat. There's either side. There's people who are crazy that can do that stuff. But it's just like very different. Like, the numbers are not even close in our country versus everywhere else.
Right.
So we need some psychologist or something to figure out, like, do some in-depth research. Someone on TED Talk.
Well, that's the thing. We are grooming weak people.
Yeah.
That's really what it boils down to. People are emotional, and even men, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The men are getting super emotional.
Yeah.
When typically that's something that you would lean towards a woman, right? But we get mad and upset, and we just don't know how to deal with expressing our feelings in a way to where we can kind of deal with it.
Yeah.
And then people ignore it. Folks will see someone on the outside and they ignore it. I see you laughing and dealing with whatever you're talking about on the outside, but never really truly, hey, Aaron, what's going on? Everything good with you, bro?
Yeah.
And digging into that and giving you a comfortable space to say, if there is something you're dealing with, without you feeling like you're ridiculed.
Yeah.
We need to stop demonizing mental health. And I know in our community, in the black community, bro, you tell somebody, oh, you going to see a therapist? Well, what, you crazy now?
Yeah.
It's more over the years. It's been better, but man, it's been kind of a taboo thing in the black community about seeing a psychologist and psychiatrist.
I think even in the minorities in general, someone that's very close to me, I'm not going to say any names, is a doctor, right? And they don't think that he doesn't prescribe medication for depression, mental health, because he doesn't think and it's a minority. It's a Hispanic man. So, I mean, there's issues. Like, I believe there's issues. People are, but yeah, like you tell a black person, like, hey, you need to go see a therapist, talk to someone. I mean, me and my wife go to marriage counseling. I mean, like, we're a normal couple. We argue, we do that, but like, it's better when we feel better about ourselves when we talk to someone.
There's nothing wrong with it.
You talk to someone, and you just feel better, like, about it, like, but like, even I've gotten better about it. I tell my friends too, like, I'm like, hey, if you got a girl, if you're thinking about getting married, and I'm like, or if you're like, if y'all having issues, man, like, go to marriage counseling, like,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like, 5 years ago I wouldn't have said that, but now I'm just like, hey, we go to marriage counseling. It's cool, like.
People think that you got to be on the brink of divorce to go to marriage counseling.
Yeah.
You don't have to be dead to go to a gym. It's just like, you want to lose weight.
Yeah.
You don't want to start losing weight, right?
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing here that we run into is that, like, most health insurances don't cover
that. Yep.
Mental health care. They don't cover marriage counseling. And those are really things I think that should be covered under some health plans, because
then you end up covering 16 people in the hospital because someone that needed mental health, that, like, they're in critical condition in the hospital.
I think that is something that as we look forward, man, that it should be covered. And I'm not saying you got a whole year worth of counseling sessions, but say maybe the first 6 sessions.
And they kind of give you, like, even like with marriage counseling, they kind of give you ways. Well, they do give you ways to get through.
Yes.
Like, because I mean, you're in a rut, or you're feeling depressed, or you're having issues mentally. If you keep having them, it's because you don't know how. I mean, you don't know how to deal with or get past that. So these people are specifically trained to, or they studied, and they want to get you past that. Like, they want to help you get past that. And like you said, you didn't go to school for psychology. A lot of these people did. They go to school for counseling, therapy, whatever, and they have studied people that have done research and they tell you what to do. And you know, for my wife, she don't listen, but no, I'm just kidding. I love you, boo. But it's just in general, it's a. Do you think it's getting better though? Do you think it's getting better?
The mental health
with the younger people. Do you think you an old head, so. But like,
thank you.
Do you think it's getting better? I guess. Do you see more younger people being open to that? I've told my friends about it. Like we got a marriage counseling. I'm cool with it. Like, but do you see it? Or I don't have numbers to put it.
Well, I don't think it's getting better.
Yeah,
because what we glorify is in that space specifically isn't the marriage. And without taking a complete turn with it, marriage is put together for a symbolization of our relationship with God, so on and so forth. But that's not even elevated anymore. So as people are growing and building a relationship, me and my wife were talking this morning. Nia Long has been in a relationship with old buddy from the head coach of the Celtics. They've been engaged for 12 years, bro.
Engaged?
Engaged. Not even married, engaged. So people don't even really see the sanctity of marriage. They don't revere it like they used to do. But that goes back to folks really kind of feeling.
I didn't even know they were engaged.
Yeah, feeling comfortable with leaving. I feel like the dating part of it just kind of ruins the whole marriage because folks get so comfortable with just picking up and leaving.
It's funny you say that, but like when you have arranged marriages, work better than
they do. I tell our couples that all the time. Arranged marriages last longer because it's usually a commitment towards some kind of business or if there's a purpose behind it. Yeah. And they don't step away from it. It's like, you know what? This is a covenant. This is what we're going to do.
But then like I've seen like videos where old, people 70, 80 years old and they're arranged marriage and then they're happy. It's just like, what?
Because you can grow to be happy with them.
And then you've been dating this chick for 6 years, but I mean, it's I'm married, so I could say it is. But I have like I say half my friends are married, half are not. But and you. Like if you're gonna be engaged for 12 years, why are you engaged?
Right.
Like
exactly. What are you doing exactly?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think moving back to the mental health piece, man. I think the healthcare should cover more of it, and people should be able to have a space to talk about it more because they deal with more now. People deal with more now than we dealt with when we were kids and when you dealt when you were a kid. So you just have to kind of learn how to navigate through that so you don't end up finding yourself in the school shooting folks.
Well, kids are like, it's not even. You got in real life bullying and then you got cyberbullying now. Like we didn't have cyberbullying. We were too busy playing Snake on the Nokia. But yeah, it's interesting stuff, man. And I think there has to be some sort of. And you think taking the guns away from people doesn't help the situation?
Gun control controls law-abiding citizens.
Yeah.
Period.
Exactly. That's how I feel. That's why I told some people, I'm like, I get it. I get where the people are coming from. Like I see other points of view. I get it. But I'm like, at the end of the day, like if someone really wants a gun, just like someone wants to get cocaine or they're gonna get it. Like it's illegal, but people still have it. So
they'll still have it if they want it. They want to do it, and because this young man bought this stuff legally. Now, unfortunately, there wasn't some type of. I've been out of the country using my doggone bank card, and they stopped me from buying something.
Yeah.
Right then. So
they send you a text.
Yeah, send you a text. Hey, was this you? Blah blah blah. Something like that. I'll say, okay, this dude bought one AR here. Yeah. Then he bought all these rounds. Okay, then he's trying to buy another AR. Like, hold up, we've already run a check on him. Why is he buying something like that?
Like some type of check, and he's not. Has this guy ever bought? Well, I mean, he was young too, so I mean, can't legally purchase.
And I question also, man. It's like, 18? Where you getting all this money from to buy all these guns and ammo?
I don't know.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but
there's a lot of them out there.
That's where we
so
are.
So the next thing with that is, like when it comes to mental health, I was talking to my wife about like is there a way that you should be able to call someone out before something happens? Because after the mass shooting happens, the friends come out to like, oh yeah, he was saying stuff, but like there's I don't know how we're gonna do it, but there should be some type of way to say, hey, this guy. Call someone, some type of tip line saying, hey, this guy's on the brink, or saying something like that, and it's like crossing the line maybe that they need help, where you can have someone look into the situation to see where their mental headspace is at, but some type of like if I have a homie that's like, hey, I'm about to go shoot up a school, like no smile on his face, not joking, I'd be like, all right, bro, we need to have a talk. But like, it's already too late after you kill 20 people, and so that's what I'm like. Is there some type of way to put something like that in motion, or?
Well, that is red flag laws.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you just explained is what they call red flag laws, and they have been trying to keep away from that.
Because
it's kind of they of course there's always some kind of extreme, but they call them these ERPOs, where extreme risk protection orders, where they allow law enforcement and family members and friends, medical professionals to basically go to the court and say, hey, this person is not mentally sane.
Yeah.
He's done that. He might do something, and you can prohibit someone from doing something for up to like a year.
Yeah.
But think about that. Think about what we have now on claims where you find out somebody lied. Prime example, Amber Heard just was found that all of this baseless crap she was talking about with Johnny Depp, most of that was malarkey,
that
right?
Was entertainment.
But imagine someone accusing you and saying that you're not mentally stable, you can't do this,
and
the court says, all right, cool. But really, you was just having a bad day.
Yeah.
You had a bad day, but now for the next year, you can't do X, Y, and Z.
That's what it's like, okay. And that's not going to fly, because that's like, you can't take away my freedom. It's one of those things where,
right.
But yeah, and that's, Amber Heard's a whole nother story. I'm like,
they exist in some states. They have them.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't have them in Texas, but in some states Texas, they do have them.
We don't have any of that. We have none of that in Texas.
Like you said, what? No,
yeah,
no. That's not going to happen.
But yeah, it's. I mean, I think better safe than sorry, but it's also hard to enforce exactly what you're looking for in that situation.
Right.
And it's like, are you crossing the boundary between like freedom and deciding if someone's mentally stable or not? I mean, like the guy had alarming. He had some things that were red flags for sure. It's not like, but that's where I guess mental health. Maybe someone that he didn't have anyone to talk to. Friends, family, I don't know.
I don't know, man. My kids, they're grown, but I still question them. I always ask. My wife, sometimes she gets to where, well, what do you think about? I say, well, ask them.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be one of them dudes where you find out and you don't know. If I don't want to be in the house and questioning something, so I'll ask
them. Yeah.
The question, and if they lie to me, that's what I always tell her. Look, if he's gonna look me in my face and lie to me, then that's on him.
Yeah.
He got to live with that.
Yeah.
But at least if I ask him, I can kind of say, okay, cool, I did ask.
Yeah.
And then if I need a reference, hey, man, remember Tuesday we were talking and you told me blah, blah, blah. And he can say, oh, yeah, I did say whatever.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I don't know, man. I think mental health is definitely one. And then, of course, securing the schools a little bit more is definitely important. So, anywho, while we're in the health stuff, I might as well. I'm gonna just jump down to the last one there. I don't know if you heard, but Mark Cuban is man. I mean, some people don't like the guy, but he's an outspoken billionaire, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and some other sports franchises. But this dude is shaking up the medical industry.
He's gonna
pharmaceuticals per se.
He's gonna disappear.
This dude might have written his ticket.
Yeah.
Because against Big Pharma.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, he has teamed up with, I can't remember the guy's name, the CEO or founder, but they've created the Mark Cuban Cost Plus Drug Company, right? It's a public company, corporation that literally takes, I think, a 5% markup plus shipping and all that kind of stuff on medications that cost thousands and thousands of dollars. You can literally go to um, the website, and if you find your medication on there, you can pick it out, order it. Now, it doesn't accept insurance, because if he accepted insurance, he'd have to negotiate. It's basically the same bowl of wax that he'd be into. But with the soaring cost of drugs, they allow you to go to the website and you can buy. I think they gave an example of one that cost like $9,000. It was like $36.
Yeah.
For a which $9,000 is ridiculous.
That's
to charge for a medication.
Well, if you go to the hospital,
if it's going to help someone.
If you go to the what's the healthcare India? If you go to the hospital and get a Band-Aid, you're looking at $1,500. So
it's ridiculous.
Which in that, so we're going to hold to another thing, but I think the doctors are important. They probably deserve more money than the average person, but like, man, these hospitals are making so much money. But yeah, like
they do.
And it's not even the doctors that are, they're.
It is, and I know Steve. We talk about it a lot because he talks about the comparison of him taking care of his mother over there, and the misconception of many people thinking that healthcare is free in Europe and so on and so forth, and it's not. He's still having to pay, but more importantly, just the cost of healthcare here in America being so ridiculous when you compare it to other societies.
Yeah.
Because it is. My wife. I got a bill the other day, $1,200. She got an X-ray, and I think they gave her like a pain pill. $1,269 is our portion. Now, I don't know what they charged the insurance companies, because many times the difference, what they charge us and what they charge the insurance company is different.
20% or something.
It's completely different. I'm paying more sometimes, and it's just like, I don't understand why it's so expensive.
I don't get it either.
It's so expensive to do it because we all know it doesn't cost.
Well, the top of the chain right there is getting the hospitals, these big pharmacy companies. They're getting paid. So, and they can control the whole supply chain. So, that's where, like you said, in other countries they have healthcare for all or whatever you want to call it. But there's things that come with that, like if you have a surgery that's not urgent, you're waiting for years.
Right.
And they have privatized healthcare too if you have the means to do that. Yeah, but I just think that a Band-Aid at a hospital shouldn't cost $1,500.
It shouldn't, and there should be some regulation in it. I don't think it'll ever be fixed because there's so many people with their hands in the cookie jar with it. And I misspoke on the cost. He says the operating costs are kept low because they can mark up their costs by 15%. So they mark up the 15%, and then the partners that they have, I think TruePill is one of the like an e-pharmacy type deal where you can actually order the bill and they send it to your house. But this is
they cut out the middleman.
Cut out the middleman completely and work directly with the distributors and the manufacturers. And the next step to this is, and I don't know when it'll happen.
Mark Cuban disappearing.
They said they're going to start creating or making the drugs themselves. So you're talking about completely just changing the whole market. It's just like, oh man, what happened to Jimmy Hoffa? Do we know yet?
Yeah.
Do we still know? I don't know.
Mark Cuban.
I don't know. Mark. He's changing it.
I would say I'm not with this is not a conspiracy theory. If he disappears, we know exactly what happened to him.
Yeah, it's a great idea though, man, because people shouldn't have to decide between taking their medication and paying a light bill or eating, for that matter, because the medications are so doggone expensive.
And it's like, even if like you're working for a company, like you're still paying. Majority of people are paying $300-400 a month, or even a pay period for health insurance.
Right.
That it's good if you get in a car crash, you break a bone, it covers a portion of that. But if you're paying, you're paying $8,000 a year in health insurance and you never use it, that's one of the things where it's like, it's tough too.
And that's the young folks' problem, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm young, I'm healthy. You're not really even thinking about it.
Yeah.
But then, of course, you get to a point to where you need it, where you got to go on a regular basis. Whether it's blood pressure or heart medication, whatever it might be, then it gets expensive. And then they kind of dangle it for you 'cause as an employee. It's not so bad.
Yeah.
But you add on a spouse and some kids.
Yeah. You go from
Oh my
100.
goodness.
You go from 100
To
150,
1,200.
150 a month to 900 a month.
Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it is crazy. And then that's just in case.
In case,
you
that's
wanna
where
use
it throws you off. Is like if you
just in case you need it.
Yeah, then and then next thing is like, my wife works in the medical profession. She's done billing,
Mine
so
too.
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't even try to like. I consider myself a fairly smart guy, but I don't even try to break down the deductible and out of pocket. I still don't understand. I was like, you handle the medical. I still don't even understand. It might sound dumb of me. The out of pocket max thing. Like, I was like, you reach your deductible. My wife tries to explain to me. I zone out. I'm like, I mean, at the end of the day, how I see it is like, if we need it, we need it. Like, we pay what we have to pay. Like, there's no other option.
That's it.
Like, when selecting health plans, she goes over. She always tells me no HMO, or she says one of them is not good. She always says.
Well, the HMO really, because my wife, we switched to. We used to be on a PPO. This year, one of my doctors was not on the PPO, so we had to take the HMO option. Right.
The HMO is usually the cheaper.
Typically, actually, the HSA is usually the cheapest
HSA,
one, right?
Okay.
But we took the HMO option this year because all of my doctors were actually on it.
Did the HMO, your price go up, or?
No, actually the price stayed pretty
Okay.
reasonable. It wasn't
I forgot
too bad.
which one she tells me not to do. She always tells me.
Some people stay away from the HMO because everybody has to be in network.
Yeah, it's HMO.
Yeah.
She's always like.
Yeah, they have to be in network. But if you find a doctor that's in network, which before we were
makes sense.
choosing, it's like, okay, go ahead and do it because you don't lose anything. And quite frankly, I'm paying less for some services that I was paying for being in that because I am in the network.
In network, yeah.
But if you happen to have to go outside, that's when they're like, oh, no, we're not covering that.
Yeah,
That's
So,
but luckily, I'm got all my people in there.
It's confusing, but yeah, I don't think the whole medical big pharma. I don't think they're gonna like that. Well, I know they're not gonna like it. So.
Oh no, they're definitely not gonna like it. He's probably already gotten some phone calls on it. But I mean, what do you do? It's
he's an outspoken guy too.
He is.
Yeah. So
he don't care. He's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Say something. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He does not care.
I watch a lot of Shark Tank, and I love Shark Tank, but he's a funny guy.
Oh yeah, me too, man. So moving on. So supposedly, man, these phone calls have been tapped from some of these Russian soldiers over there overseas, and they've been plotting fake marriages so they can actually get out of going to war. Now, I don't know all the details on how they get someone to join the military over in Russia. But I know it's been 100 days plus, but I think just like the Ukraine, they were mandating the men to participate in the war and being able to be it. So this particular young man was heard with a mutual acquaintance that he was going to either fake getting wounded. The only way out is to get wounded or to be killed to be officially withdrawn, because he had already tried the whole, hey, I'm married, I got to be with my wife, whatever, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And this isn't apparently the first call that they've intercepted, because, of course, it made news that this is taking place. So that just lets you know that all these guys that are over there fighting, man, they're probably not feeling all this.
Yeah, I mean, this is
they're calling it Putin's war.
Yeah, I was like, is anyone feeling Putin at this point?
Yeah,
that's the thing is, and then that follows up with like, when the war first started, the kids were getting captured. Well, the Russian troops, the kids, were getting captured, and they didn't even know why they're there. So it's like, is it? I mean, why it's obvious. I'm not gonna say it's obvious. I'm sure there's some Russian soldiers that want to be there, but it's obviously this one guy wants to flex or show his power.
That's basically what it is. Now, I don't know all the details. I know, it's not as cut and dry as it's been painted to us.
Yeah.
But I do know this. He probably thought this would be over in a few days.
Oh, he thought he was gonna go in there easy.
Hey, this is gonna be a breeze.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in here, get out of here, blah blah blah. Well, here we are, 100 days later, and it was not a breeze. And now we coming in the summertime, and with the temperatures being different over there, and these guys
still in winter gear.
Yeah, literally
Passing
injuring
out
themselves
to get out.
Bro, that's a problem.
I'm probably gonna shoot myself in the foot too if I'm in that situation.
That's a problem to have to deal to say, okay, this is what I'm gonna do today, so I can make sure that I don't have to go on with it. They can send me home. I don't know.
It's kind of sad, right? It's not kind of sad. It's really sad that this is happening. But I mean, you're in a country like that. You have to abide by what they say. And
right.
Someone like
you don't have a choice.
Yeah, someone like Putin is like he's like a tyrant kind of in some ways. So it's unfortunate. Now, so I had one of my friends posted on Facebook yesterday, I think. He's like, and I never thought about this. He's like, hey, has anyone seen any updates on the war ever since the last couple of weeks? And I was like, I literally forgot about the war. Like, it sounds bad, but I'm like,
we did with our own war.
Yeah, there's all kinds of other stuff going on. He's like, I just think it was funny how when the war started, it was like coverage. But I guess that's a media thing. What do you think about the media in that aspect?
Man, the media sucks. You don't want my opinion about the media because all they report is garbage. It's just a few companies that own them, so they're all saying the same message, be it right or wrong.
Yeah.
No one vets anything. They just want to be first.
Yeah. It's
out there. So, I don't know, man. It seems like it all depends on whatever the new topic is they want to distract us from. That's what we're gonna report. That's what we're gonna talk about.
Well, yeah. I mean, and then like, I guess there's a number of things that kind of threw that off. The whole war, you got mass shootings, still, like it's. I mean, literally, you haven't heard anything about the war until you brought this up again. So it's like, it's. I mean, our media is, it's
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like
it's ridiculous,
okay.
Man.
So I got another thing. Back to like the Johnny Depp thing. So, So
that was in the media a lot.
Yeah, that was in the media a lot. It was entertaining. But what do you think about, so if today I drive down the street and for some reason I get a call saying, hey, you're being arraigned or whatever you want to call serving because someone says that you raped them. Like it's a woman saying that you raped them. Then she tells all her homegirls, hey, say this guy raped you. Yeah. So there's 10 people saying that I raped. Well, I never even seen the girl. So or like something like that. What do you think about that? Like, it's just what I'm trying to say is like someone could, say you're doing something to them and then you can be in a whole world of mess but without proof. So like you have the whole Johnny Depp thing. It's like, I don't know. How do you like, especially if a woman said a man did something to her, they're definitely going to look into it. So, I mean, what do you think about that? I mean,
I think it's funny you bring this up, man, because I was listening to a podcast this morning with, of course, we want to be careful on the R word, too, on the YouTube. So we'll just say assault them, right?
Uh-huh.
But it was about this specific topic, right?
Yeah.
And the reference of the point of reference was this video that Candace Owens had put out about how the Me Too movement has kind of ruined that between men and women and people that really truly need help or that want to report something, and then those that are just making noise on the other side.
Yeah.
And with what she said, it's a 9 or 10 minute video that she's kind of going in about it. But I totally agree with her. I feel like this hashtag Me Too movement has kind of
watered down the whole
what would have or should really be spotlighted, as in people, women and men in some cases, deal with these types of situations.
Well, that's the thing. Is like
without reporting.
Well, that's the thing is so gender, right? So if I'm 6'4", 240-pound guy. I'm not
Right.
a little guy. But like if I was to go, hey, my wife has been punching me, she's been beating me up, like
We
gonna
be like,
laugh
boy,
at
you
me.
soft, bro.
Yeah. So it's like
This
one of
little
those
lady,
things-
her?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
good.
okay. You must have did something.
Well, it's gonna be like one of those things where like if as a man you're gonna say if you can say that, but like are you really gonna go to court? Are you gonna have to lawyer up? Or is your wife gonna have to lawyer up? But if for some reason she fell off her bike and she wants to say my wife wouldn't do this, but if she fell off her bike and hit her face and then says I punched her, then
Right.
like they're gonna look into it, right? So I don't like that's. It kind of rubs me the wrong way about like how that whole thing goes. I feel like you can get in trouble for if someone wants to get you in trouble, especially as a man. Like if someone wants to get you in trouble, they can get you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they can get you in trouble. They can.
It's a double standard
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and like I mean, Deshaun Watson, a whole nother story. But
Now,
but I'm just
but
saying,
you
like,
know what? But in his defense, right? In his defense, no one's pressed any criminal charges.
Yeah.
Right? It's all been civil. So for me, it's kind of like, okay, if you really want something to happen to this guy and he wronged you, take it to the police. Go do something. Because I feel like many times when something really happens to a person, you're going straight there.
To the police, yeah.
You're going straight to the police. You getting it done, and it's not coming out all of a sudden. Oh yeah, he did it to me too.
Yeah.
And then now you got 30 people saying that he did this. I mean, look at Bill Cosby, bro. This dude's 80-some years old, and you got this woman. Let's be real. They was both getting high.
Yeah.
Both of them was getting high, taking what I guess we would call today a Valium, together, kind of loosen the mood, doing whatever they do, and
The Cosbypolitan.
it just happened. It went down.
Yeah.
And I'm not excusing anything from the behavior, but come on, man. Don't come back 40, 50 years later. This man was in prison for real for this. Come on. Now they trying to drag Hugh Hefner. Come on, bro. The Playboy Mansion. The name is in the title. You know what time it is.
They wanted to go there.
You know what time it is. Now it's all of a sudden he did this to you. And this dude dead and gone, and you gonna try to drag his name. It's like, come on, man, don't do that.
Yeah,
don't do that. There's so many stories of it. These things happening to people and things taking place, and then it's one of those things where you're guilty until proven innocent. Once it gets out of the media, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap for you.
Yeah.
You did it. You're a part of it. Matt Lauer. I heard that the dude is a scumbag.
Yeah.
Cheated on his wife.
Had no idea about
all that kind of stuff.
That one was surprising. That one was like really surprising.
Don't surprise me that he's a philanderer. He does that. But did he really assault this woman who was kicking it and hanging out with him a year after all of it happened? It's like, come on. So now you dating the guy that assaulted you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
You're putting yourself in a situation. Yeah. So like, if it was that,
then you got a little girl that it really happened to her.
But you're watering down.
She saw how this lady was treated after it come out that she really, really wasn't assaulted.
Yeah.
So now it's like, you know what? I'm gonna just chill.
Yeah, you're like watering. It's kind of like watering down the situation for like the people that really
that really need somebody to do, because there's some scumbag dudes out there that do stuff to women. Yeah. It's like, bro, you out of line. You're completely out of line for that, bro. But so to your point, I'm not with it. I'm not for this whole believe all women or believe all men. I'm like, listen, let's get to the facts. Let's get it out. And let's get it today, not 30, 40 years later.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like, it just bothers me that it could, like, as a man, you couldn't literally, your name could be dragged just because someone decided, hey, if a woman decided, hey, I don't like you, hey, I'm going to tell my friend. I mean, it won't, I don't know if this happened ever, but I'm going to tell all my friends to say that, you assaulted me. And I mean, you could be facing some real issues. I mean, it's just, I just thought it was just for the Johnny Depp. I thought that was entertaining.
Right.
The whole
it was. It was not. What I do know is she don't have $8.35 million to pay this man. So he'll probably forgive the debt or figure out some kind of way.
I mean, she already paid her dues via media.
Oh so yeah. So I don't know. She might go on Sesame Street, but other than that, that'll be her cap at this point.
Sesame Street don't want her, man.
It ain't. It's not happening. So, it's already after 11. Real quick, let's just hit this one here because it's a local instance. So we know that the whole Roe versus Wade thing's been going on, whatever, so on and so forth, and that's been kind of a point of contention for many people to talk about. And just so there's clarity, just so I can make sure everyone understands it, this is really overturning that if it happens, if they decide to do it, that is really just returning the decision back to the states. Not saying that it's going to be illegal across the board, whatever, so on and so forth, but that's just returning it back to the states, which I honestly don't have a problem with that, but nevertheless, it is what it is. So, Reverend Smiley, Joel Osteen, which, man, from what I understand, Joel's a good guy. I haven't heard anything about. I think they had some scandal back, some money stuck in the walls by some plumber. They found it's like, okay, what they got to do with him? Somebody was stealing money, put it in the walls. Okay, whatever, cool.
Yeah, if you're that big and you haven't had like something about things,
exactly. It's like leave the guy alone. His message is for someone. If you don't like it, don't go. Don't tune in. Don't listen. But anywho. These ladies went to service. I think it was this weekend, and they were protesting the church. They were in the church, and for those of you that don't know, Lakewood, they have a kind of a mantra or motto that they give. Once he starts to give a sermon about, this is my Bible. I believe I am what it says I am. I believe what it says I believe. Blah blah blah. And as they were getting to the never, never, nevers, never be the same, you saw the video, we'll leave the video clip out, but you saw the girl recording. And these girls stood up in service, took their clothes off, and started yelling and cussing in the doggone sanctuary, bro. And it's just like, first of all, what are you proving? You're pro-choice. Great. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
That's what you want. I'm not pro-choice. But that doesn't mean that I'm right, and that doesn't mean that you're wrong.
Yeah.
But what you are wrong for doing is coming up in the church house, taking your clothes off, and sitting there and everybody cussing and screaming, talking about pro-choice, my body, my effing choice, blah, 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 so on and so forth.
So now, essentially, there's children's church too, but I'm sure you got some kids in there.
Of course.
Now they're like, what is, now you got to explain it to your 7-year-old or try to put it in Sesame Street terms, what happened or kind of.
Exactly.
And something like that, do you think it's like your body, your choice? Great. Like, do you like it? Me personally, like I said, I'm not worried about it. I got a lot of stuff going on in my life. I'm not. You do what you need to do. But Are you putting yourself out? Are you trying to be on the media? Like that's what I'm like. Okay, you're gonna do this in front of the biggest church, in front of the most people. So you're gonna get the media. So are you trying to be that person that leads this movement? Do you want to like your name out there? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like you want to be that. Oh, this lady came and she's the one that kind of led this movement, and then she could, it's not about the movement anymore. It becomes about her. So I'm like, I don't know if that was her intention, but from my point of view, it's like kind of like, if you want to do that, stand on the street corner and
thank you.
Go on Katy Freeway. There's tons of cars that
because that's freedom, right?
Yeah.
You can actually come out here. And I think afterwards, the video showed that when she was standing out with her little microphone saying, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you go to our clinics and you do this. Okay, these people didn't go to your clinic, so how fair is it to bring this to them? It makes no. If you have your stance, great. It's your platform. You want to stand on the street corner and say it, but to enter the service under the guise that you're going to stand up, take your clothes off, and start yelling profanities, that's just unacceptable, man.
That's where that's what I said. I think
we missed the message.
It's a personal thing at that point. Like you wanna, because you go into like, why didn't you go to the local neighborhood church and do that? You went to the big, like everyone knows
Lakewood.
Everyone knows who
everyone knows Lakewood. Yeah. We know who Joel Osteen is.
Yeah, so you're gonna go there, and obviously she doesn't have friends advising her to do the wisest things. Like you
Clearly.
you got you got to get some solid homies around you at some point.
You got to, man, and we got to call each other out and not be afraid to do.
Like, all right, we understand your point of view. Like, you want to do it, I'm with you, girl, but don't do it this way.
No,
like
not that. No, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's not gonna fly.
So yeah, it's wrong. Let's put it that way. It's very wrong. So
it is.
People crazy at the end of the day. Like, you can't control them, right? But you just hope people don't act like that all the time.
You would hope, bro, but people have their stance and they have their beliefs, and it is what it is. So we're gonna close out on this one, man. So these golfers over in Saudi Arabia, bro, they have created this new golf league of sorts, where our professional golfers, of course, they need some people that'll be a draw. But these professional golfers have decided they're gonna do this. Was it LIV Golf International?
Yeah, LIV
I
Golf.
think the first tournament starts this week, if I remember correctly. But it's a Saudi-funded golf league, and they're basically the whole controversy behind it is that there's been some talk around human rights and them. Kind of stave off that for getting American players and then just international players to come over there to play because of some of the beliefs and the stances that they have over in that society. But man, they have been signing and throwing away money money to some of these players that where I don't see how they can walk away from any of it.
So what I think about it, obviously we talk about money talks. Like at some point, $200 million. Like, there's some things I wouldn't do for $200 million, but playing golf is not one of them. Like, I'm sorry, I'm about to go play some golf and get paid. Because what is Phil Mickelson paid $200 million? They apparently offered Tiger Woods more than that. But it's. And the PGA doesn't like it because it's also a competitor. It's just money talks, man. Like it's like go back to like Aaron Donald, right? The guy was saying he said he's gonna retire. Like, come on, dude, you're at the top of your game.
Why?
You're not gonna retire, but then all of a sudden you get a $30 million contract because you're gonna retire.
Yeah,
you don't want to retire. You wanted more money, like
exactly.
It's you got $60 million contract, 2 years, so you wanted more money. So at the end of the day, a lot of these guys don't need the money, but like we're talking about, if you want to keep it going for 10 generations down the line, even though we might not be here due to global warming. Get your money, man. So
and a lot of people put that is not to cut you off, but a lot of people put that because I think Jamal Khashoggi was a journalist that they got killed over in the consulate there, the Saudi consulate.
Yeah.
And that has been kind of a big deal because it's like, okay, y'all killed this dude here, and that's kind of an area of concern for them. But these guys, I don't think they're really concerned about
you can't
when it comes to
that's marketing for the Saudi league, right? You bring in the best golfers in the world. Like, if you bring someone over and they get killed, then it's already done. Like,
right.
No one's going back over there. I'm sure they're not worried about that, but it's a marketing thing. Like, they know what they're doing. They're gonna get people to tune into these leagues. If you have if James and I go out there and we get paid $1 million each, I'm going.
Right.
But no one's tuning in,
exactly. Not for us.
Like, they're not doing for us. So, it's a marketing thing. Like, you want to get your name on the map, you have to get the best people. It's just one of those things, like,
it's going to happen. It's happening.
Can you be mad at them?
I don't think so.
For that much money? I said.
This is the new rival. This is the XFL of the PGA that's taking place. This is a rival golf league.
XFL had no chance, though. But man, I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. I just think, there's money. There's money there.
It's definitely money. Golf is not a contentious type of kind of sport. And quite frankly, you're playing against yourself.
Yeah.
Although you're playing at the same time as other people, you're not really playing against them. There's no defensive moves that they can put on you to stop you from doing as well as you need to do. It's more of a mental game, and you're kind of physically getting out there and doing it. So, I don't see anything happening on the golf course. Somebody gonna break out an AK and start popping caps on nobody. I don't see that happening.
Not in Saudi, maybe in the U.S.
As much as they want to bring this in and making it a kind of a moral issue, and
just playing golf.
They're just playing golf and paying their bills. Last place is getting $125,000 for last place.
Last place, man. So I mean, so the people that disapprove, are you not going to go? I mean, possibly there's some, but if you want to go to Saudi Arabia for vacation, are you going to
Are you not going to go?
Yeah. So you mean to tell me that these guys shouldn't go play golf?
Right.
You can go on vacation?
Exactly.
It's like, okay.
I would stretch to say that you're putting more revenue in the economy by going on vacation than they would be by going to play golf.
And I'm sure there's people that are on the same page, like, hey, I'm not going to go over there because of what I believe. But, I mean, if someone gave you a trip to Saudi Arabia to go visit, then, I mean, if someone said, hey, next week we got you a trip, 2 weeks to Saudi Arabia, I'm like, look, man, we're going to put this new business on hold.
I'm in there.
I can work remotely.
Yes.
But, yeah, it's like, I mean, they're getting paid to go over there. So, and, you know, if you give me a free trip, I'm going to take it. But I'm not getting paid. You're just giving me a free trip. It's essentially like me getting paid. So it's, I mean, I can't knock them.
Right.
Like you said, this is our opinion on this podcast. So
right.
I'm not going to knock the guys. I wouldn't knock them because I would do it myself.
Absolutely. I would definitely do it. And I'd do it for last place.
Yeah. Definitely do it. And I would certainly be in last place.
Certainly be in last place for sure. I'd be in last place behind you for sure.
Yeah, you haven't seen me on the course, brother.
Oh, well, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you joining us today, man.
I love being here.
As Steve was out. We, of course, are here every Wednesday to just talk about whatever it is. I know this is kind of one of those things where, you know, the topics kind of move, but it's good discussion.
Yeah.
Even if we don't agree on every single thing, we can at least talk about it.
It's like elementary school current events.
There you go.
It's like,
that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
So tell the people again where they can find you in Trophy Room.
So new company. Been in business for about a month, so we're fully operational. So we're at trophyroomtitle.com. My name is Aaron. If you need to email me, it's aaron@trophyroomtitle.com. That is not ERIN. It's AARON.
Aaron.
To you Starbucks employees out there that can't spell my name. And also Instagram is up. Not very many posts, but it's at Trophy Room TX if you want to check us out there or follow us because we're trying to get on the map. We're got some good content coming in the next months. I think I'm along with our social media guru over here, James. I'm gonna get some tips from him because I'm trying to get out there and see so everyone can see the smiling face and we can get this company going. But
absolutely,
we're also looking to take care of you guys, realtors, mortgage people, and even buyers, sellers. We can save you some money, guys. So. Reach out to me if you have any questions. But thanks for having me, James.
No worries, man.
I love being here all the time. And next time I'm here, we'll have some good discussion.
There you go. As always, guys, you know, our information is below. If you're looking at a career in real estate, you can reach out to Steven. His information is down in the description box there. And for me, if you need something mortgage related, to buy a home, refinance, any information regarding the mortgage process, please reach out to me. Or if you wanted to start your own career in mortgage, don't hesitate to reach out. All right. We thank you for joining again at the Olympian Table, and we'll see you guys next week, next Wednesday, 10 o'clock.
Bye, guys.
Peace.